She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches. And everything she touches changes. There is a woman who weaves the night sky. See her spin, watch her fingers fly. She is within us, beginning to end. Our grandmother, our sister, our friend. She is the weaver and we are the web. She is the needle and we are the thread. And she changes everything she touches. And everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. Welcome to the third night of Hanukkah. Shabbat just ended. And at the end of Shabbat, in the Havdalah ritual, we do things to remind ourselves of the Garden of Eden and to bring a little Eden into our week, like smelling spices, for example. And one of the origin stories of Hanukkah actually comes from Adam's experience after he's expelled from the Garden of Eden. When Adam, the first person, saw that the day was progressively diminishing as the days became shorter from the autumnal equinox until the winter solstice, he did not yet know that this was a normal phenomenon. And therefore he said, "Woe is me. Perhaps because I have sinned, the world is becoming dark around me, and I will ultimately return to the primordial state of chaos and disorder. And this is the death that was sentenced upon me from heaven. As it is written, and to dust shall you return." He arose and spent 8 days in fasting and in prayer. Once he saw that the season of Tevet, the winter solstice, had arrived, and saw that the day was progressively lengthening after the solstice, he said, "Clearly the days become shorter and then longer, and this is the order of the world." So he went and observed a festival for 8 days. Upon the next year, he observed both these 8 days on which he had fasted on the previous year, and those 8 days of his celebration as days of festivities. He, Adam, established these festivals for the sake of heaven. It is winter now. The days are getting shorter and the nights are longer. Holidays like Passover and Sukkot begin in the middle of the month when the moon is full. But Hanukkah is different. It begins on the 25th of the month, when the moon has almost completely disappeared. So we are in one of the darkest periods of the month, in one of the darkest months of the year. So we're also aware of the profound links between physical darkness and existential darkness. So common is Adam's experience. As a chaplain, I see it all the time, that we blame ourselves for the dark nights of our souls, for illness and external circumstances. And we get afraid. What if this night never ends? What if meaninglessness and loneliness are simply all there is? And this year is particularly really difficult. Your journal question for the third night of Hanukkah comes in 2 parts. The first part is that I'm asking you to identify a place of darkness for you at this time. It could be in your personal life, or something you see in the larger world, some kind of problem, something you are struggling with, a place of conflict. So I'm going to wait a minute for you to identify one or more places of darkness. So let's hold on to that for a second, and I'm going to now introduce another piece to this. So on this third night of Hanukkah, we are going to look at the third chapter of Torah and take another trip to the Garden of Eden. It says, "Now the serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild beasts that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, 'Did God really say you shall not eat of any tree in the garden?'" Rabbi Marcia Prager explains the number 3 this way. You have Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, and then the number 3 comes along, the snake. And number 3 changes things up, changes the status quo, it tips the scales. Number 3 is our soul urge to change. It is a new birth. It is the number of instability. The snake asks a question, and it brings about doubt. And this question invites us on the greatest journey of human transformation that has ever existed, life itself. So over these next 10 minutes, I invite you to take one of the places of darkness that you have identified and write down all the questions that you can about it, your real questions from every angle. Open this darkness up. Tease the impossible situation apart with questions. Test if it's true. Explore possibilities and options. Take the darkness on a journey of transformation. And if there's still time left, think of more questions or do another one. Questions can be prayers. If you'd like to focus your attention and intention for this third night of Hanukkah, see if you can choose one of your favorite or most interesting questions to focus on. Hanukkah means dedication. And as we light these candles tonight, we acknowledge the true questions that guide our quests, that propel us forward, that move us from darkness, and that transform us and the world. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. We give thanks and praise for the miracles of the past as well as the present miracles unfolding in our lives right now. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavotenu ve'imotenu, bayamim hahem ba'azman hazeh. Happy third night of Hanukkah. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes.